he did the Monster Mash.
Happy Halloween, darling.
Halloween in the 80s ruled. Plastic costumes from head to toe, creepy TV specials, candy that may have tried to kill us. What a time to be a kid. So, let's look back at 13 things we loved about it. Please subscribe and don't miss number 7. It's pure nostalgia. Are you ready? Let's do this!
Could I be? There's so many sides to me.
TV specials. You had to wait for Halloween shows to come on TV, and when they finally did, it was a big deal. The whole family would gather around the TV after dinner, and if you missed it, that was it. No replay, no second chance. The king of all specials? It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Every kid watched it. Linus waiting in the pumpkin patch, Snoopy pretending to be a flying ace, and poor Charlie Brown getting a rock. Classic. It wasn't Halloween without it, right? But that wasn't the only one. Garfield's Halloween Adventure, the Halloween that almost wasn't, and anything with Elvira or Vincent Price. Total 80s classics. So, what was your favorite? One thing's for sure, back then, Halloween, and even Christmas, had a whole different vibe on TV. It brought everyone together. Everyone watched the same shows at the same time, and you had to be ready to talk about it at school the next day. It definitely was a great time to be a kid. The costumes. In the 80s, Halloween costumes were either homemade masterpieces or cheap plastic, and both were perfect. If your mom was crafty, you might show up as a cardboard robot, a ghost with an old sheet, or a vampire with baby powder in your hair. But if not, no problem. Just hit the local store and grab a boxed costume of your favorite cartoon character. Nothing beat those boxed sets from Kmart or Woolworth. You know the ones. A thin plastic mask with tiny eye holes that never lined up, a tiny slit for a mouth, and a vinyl smock with the character's face printed on your chest. Not the outfit, just their face. And the smell? Pure childhood. Totally unforgettable. The costume looked amazing on the box, but in real life it was basically a plastic tablecloth with holes. The elastic snapped halfway through the night, and you'd be holding your sweaty mask in one hand and your candy bag in the other. Couldn't breathe, couldn't see, and it dug into your face like an Iron Maiden. And still, you felt awesome.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
The movies, scary movies, were everywhere, and we couldn't get enough. Halloween night wasn't complete without a creepy movie that made you check under your bed before going to sleep. This was the golden era of horror. We're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street Halloween, Friday the 13th, the classics. Freddy Krueger's glove, Jason's mask, Michael Myers' slow walk. They became Halloween icons. These weren't just scary characters. They were legends. Most of us weren't even allowed to watch them, but we did anyway. At a friend's sleepover, or when your older sibling accidentally left the VHS in the player. Yep, if you remember that, you're officially old. Now, be honest, who sneaked into the horror section at the video store just to stare at those creepy box covers? Admit it, it was kind of thrilling, right? So let's play a game. Drop your answers in the comments. What movie gave you nightmares back then? And which villain made you sleep with the lights on? Freddy, Jason, or Chucky? And don't worry, we won't judge. School parties. The classroom Halloween party was a huge deal. Remember when the classroom looked like a room full of tiny serial killers getting ready for the purge? Those plastic masks with that smell? Iconic. Kids waited all year for it. And when it finally came, it felt like the best day ever. Total chaos. And we loved it. You'd wear your costume all day, take part in the parade around the school, and then crash on the carpet to watch Halloween cartoons. The snacks? Always cookies shaped like pumpkins, candy corn, and juice in tiny paper cups. Then came the games, bobbing for apples, gross but fun, mummy wrap with toilet paper, and sometimes even a haunted classroom if your school really went all out. It was loud, messy, and magical. Schools had Halloween carnivals, and community centers held big Halloween festivities. Do you have any memories of this? And be honest, were you team homemade costume or plastic mask? Trick-or-treating. You and your friends had pillowcases, plastic pumpkin buckets, or even grocery bags, whatever held the most candy. No supervision, no phones, just hours and hours walking through different neighborhoods. It felt like miles and miles of trick-or-treating until your legs gave out. The rule was simple: the more houses, the more candy. Back then, it felt totally normal to knock on strangers' doors at night. No one thought twice about it. Some neighbors even turned their garages into haunted houses or handed out homemade popcorn balls and caramel apples. Yep, before the razor blade, panic ruined everything. And the candy variety? It was Halloween heaven. By the end of the night, your hands were frozen, your feet hurt, and your costume was falling apart, but your candy bag was full. That was the goal. That was the fun. Halloween commercials on TV. Who else misses that magical feeling those ads used to give us? You knew Halloween was getting close when spooky commercials started taking over your TV screen, and honestly, some of them were better than the shows. There were ads for candy and everything. Spooky fruit, Coca-Cola, Reese's, with skeletons, witches, and goofy costumes. McDonald's was the best. Those Halloween Happy Meals, and even little certificates for free treats? Iconic. Even cereal commercials got spooky, with Count Chocula and Frankenberry creeping through haunted houses. And let's not forget Toys R Us. Their Halloween ads made you want everything. Some commercials were so weird or creepy, they stuck with you for life. You'd hear that creepy laugh or ghostly jingle and run to the TV like, it's back. You didn't skip commercials, they were part of the fun.
Happy Halloween, darling.
7. McDonald's Halloween buckets. If you were a kid in the 80s, getting a Happy Meal in one of those McDonald's Halloween buckets was peak childhood happiness. You didn't care what was in the box, you just wanted the bucket. They came in 3 legendary styles: the bright orange pumpkin, McPumpkin, the ghostly white McBoo, and the green witchy McWitch. And once you got one, oh, it wasn't just for candy. It became your trick-or-treat pail, your toy box, your crayon stash, maybe even your bathroom trash can. No shame. We all did it. Each year, the designs changed just enough to make you need the new one. And if your parents let you keep every version, consider yourself one of the lucky ones. So tell us, did you collect the buckets? And which one was your favorite? Drop it in the comments, and bonus points if you still have one. Let's be real. Halloween was all about the candy. And in the 80s, the variety was wild. Your trick-or-treat bag was full of everything: Reese's, Snickers, Tootsie Rolls, Nerds, Laffy Taffy, candy cigarettes, bubble gum, wax slips, and yes, those peanut butter chews in orange and black wrappers. No one liked them, but somehow they were always in the bag. Some houses gave out full-size bars, Legends, while others handed out pennies, raisins, or, the worst, toothbrushes. But even the bad stuff got traded or eaten eventually. You had your candy sorted into piles: keep, trade, and no thanks. And then there were the weird ones: wax vampire teeth you couldn't chew, eyeball gumballs, gummy body parts, and little plastic coffins with skeleton-shaped candy inside. Gross? Maybe. Awesome? Absolutely. You'd dump your candy out on the floor, sort it, count it, maybe even guard it from your siblings, and it would last days, unless you had no self-control. We didn't. Toys. Halloween in the 80s didn't stop at candy. It followed us home in the form of weird, spooky toys. Remember monster balls and Madballs? Gross little rubber balls with eyeballs, fangs, and slime. We loved tossing them around and freaking people out. Then there was my pet monster, Big, blue, furry, and chained up, half-stuffed animal, half monster, and totally awesome. And how about the monster machine? That plastic lab that lets you create rubbery monsters by squishing body parts into molds and watching them ooze out like creepy little factory rejects. It was messy, weird, and we couldn't get enough. That was pure 1980s Halloween fun. So tell us, what monster toys do you remember? Caramel apples and popcorn balls. When Halloween was something to scream about, some treats weren't store-bought. They were homemade and unforgettable. Caramel apples were a classic, sticky, sweet, and nearly impossible to eat without getting it all over your face. But somehow, that made them even better. Every kid loved them, mess and all. Then came the popcorn balls. Nothing said Halloween like Mom standing at the stove, stirring molasses and sugar until it bubbled into a sticky dark syrup. They were chewy, crunchy, and wrapped in plastic wrap that stuck to everything. Sometimes they were plain, sometimes dyed neon orange, and if they had candy mixed in, jackpot. Kids today will never get it. Feeling the nostalgia? Then get ready. The best is yet to come. The 70s and 80s were a wild time. No fancy lights, no big blow-up decorations. Just classic stuff that made everything feel spooky and fun. Most houses had cardboard cutouts in the windows, smiling pumpkins, black cats, witches on brooms, maybe a plastic skeleton hanging on the front door. And if someone had blinking orange lights, that house was fancy. And schools, teachers went all out. There were paper bats, pumpkins made with construction paper, cotton spider webs, and maybe even a big black cauldron filled with candy. Simple, fun, and full of Halloween spirit. The Addams Family. Whether you watched the old black and white reruns, the 1980s animated series, or just knew the theme song by heart, the Addams Family was everywhere. Gomez and Morticia were spooky couple goals. Wednesday was all of us in a bad mood, and Uncle Fester, basically a Halloween decoration that could talk. By the end of the 80s, the Addams Family had already earned their place in Halloween tradition, even before the big movie hit theaters in the 90s. All right, enough of the mysterious. Time for our last item. Ready? The Thriller Dance. Nothing said Halloween in the 80s like the Thriller Dance. Zombies, fog, red jackets, and that epic choreography. Everyone tried it. At school, at parties, in front of the mirror. Some nailed it, others looked like confused skeletons. But it was awesome either way. So tell us, did you try the Thriller moves back in the day? One thing's for sure, Halloween and Christmas in the 80s was unbeatable. Agree? Then like the video, drop your memories in the comments, and hit subscribe for more retro fun. Happy Halloween, and see you in the next video.